All right. Hopefully you can all see that. I have to figure out how to come back to you. All right. Can I get a thumbs up? Can you see my screen? Danae, does it say Guiding Life with As a Man Thinketh by James Allen? Is that what you're seeing? Okay, thanks, Ron. All right. All right, very good here. Okay, so this little presentation will cover just an overview of this little book and delve into the power of our thought, our individual thought. We'll explore the connection uh, between thought, character, circumstances, and examine the impact of those thoughts on all of that. And we'll discuss the importance of vision and ideals, and finally look at achieving serenity and inner peace, and really going to that place in a deeper way. And find it interesting that in this book, serenity and inner peace are at the end, but they could really bookend what we're talking about here, because we want to go into that place of inner peace, or that secret place of the Most High, and get our thoughts straight, and just kind of notice that, hey, my thoughts are contributing to what is showing up in my life right now. And I can choose to have a different thought. So, what does the ideal look like? So, keep that in mind as we're going through this. Now, in this book, obviously, it's a timeless classic, and it emphasizes that the profound impact on thought on a person's life, and it encourages us to take control of our thoughts and consequently our destinies. Now, James Allen was a British philosopher, a writer known for his inspirational writings on self improvement and personal development. He contributed to that whole movement, that transcendental mute movement. Some say he was a psychologist, but I couldn't find anything on that. His work has inspired a whole bunch of other authors. It's inspired other countless readers to reflect on the power of their thoughts. Now, we talk about thought all the time, and we talk about it in sometimes very simple ways. But being a master of our thought is not always an easy thing to do. So the core theme of As a Man Thinketh revolve around the idea that a man's thought shapes his character, his circumstances, and ultimately his destiny. Now, James Allen emphasizes that positive thinking leads to positive outcomes. And I like to add in the spiritual integration part and go a little bit deeper. When our thoughts are aligned with truth, absolute truth, not relative truth, which is, a truth that we say, hey, I saw it, or I tasted it, or I smelled it, or I experienced it out there, so it must be true. I'm talking about absolute truth. The principles that we talked about here on our Sunday mornings, the five principles in unity: one presence, one power, one mind, one life, all substance, that kind of truth. That's what we're talking about. And when our thoughts are centered on that absolute truth, the good that God is, the gift that God is, the giver and the gift, the good that's already been given, we tend to alter and impact and influence our circumstances. So we want to keep that in mind as we're taking a look at this. So this was published back in 1903, and as again, it's gained acclaim for its simplicity and its depth in 60 short pages, and it's been embraced by motivational speakers and personal development coaches and consultants and advocates for well over a century, and there's still people building programs all around what's in this little book. So it's a good one to pick up and take a look at your spare time. Delve into the power of thought. We know thought is a powerful tool. We talk about thought all the time in unity. We sing songs. Our thoughts are prayers. So we are always praying because we're always thinking. And thought really does shape our reality. James Allen in the book illustrates how our minds operate as really master weavers, creating our lives through the thoughts that we hold dominant and wrap with feeling and sustained. Allen likens the mind to this weaver, crafting experiences based on the thoughts that we entertain. And he emphasizes that conscious awareness of our thoughts leads to mastery over our lives. And it's really true. Tanae, I was telling Tanae the other day, yeah, I set this up a long time ago. What was I talking about? Well, I love the phrase, our future self is watching us now through memories. So I look back to a lot of things, knowing that our future self is watching us now through memories. I always wanted to, when I came into that realization, I always wanted that future self to be really proud of me, to be glad that I made the choices and the decisions and the sacrifices perhaps that I made a long time ago. And this is goes back way back to when I took this deep dive into my own spirituality and ultimately my studies to become a ordained minister and all the work that I've done since then. I set up a lot of things in my life that were, well, you could say broken or not functioning effectively and efficiently, and I put things in place so I would get to this point where I am right now and say, thank you, thank you, thank you to that, what I was becoming back then for making the choices and decisions I did. So in that way, I was weaving and fashioning what I wanted to experience when I got to where I am right now. So remember, our future self is watching. Your future self is watching you now through memories. So you get to a point where you look back and say, yeah, I'm glad I did that work. I'm glad I had those deliberate thoughts. I'm glad I was mindful and moved back a little bit to examine what was I thinking that created my circumstances, because I wanted different circumstances. So I chose to really put the effort into thinking new thoughts and new trains of thoughts. The character of a person is a direct reflection of our thoughts. And as we heard earlier, positive thoughts foster resilience. Positive thoughts foster strength. While this law is always working, we know that the negative thoughts can they're at work too. And they can lead to adverse circumstances, adverse conditions, adverse situations. All thought is attractive, and we want thought to be intentionally creative. So we're moving into Lent. We want to let go of the negative thoughts. And in the book, he provides a little guidance on how to transform negative thoughts into positive thoughts, shifting our thinking so that in shifting our thinking, it can lead to improved circumstances and enhance personal growth. We have to notice them. We have to just realize that the thoughts we think are habitual, and the thoughts we think leads to the words we speak, and leads to the actions that we take, and leads to feelings that we feel. And when they're solely based on what's happening in the world around us, rather than intentionally focusing consciously on what's going on within us when we're focused on truth, we tend to mirror the outer world and create the little microcosm in our own life of our own situations that mirror what those dominant thoughts are thinking about. So our thoughts directly influence our character, our circumstances. There's a little section there that focuses on how cultivating the positive thoughts, really tending to our garden, as he points out in the beginning of the book, can lead to the development of a strong, virtuous character. And Allen argues that a strong character is built through consistent, positive thinking. And this foundation can lead to a fulfilling and purposeful full life. So we want to be vigilant. We want to always guard our thoughts. And our thoughts really do shape our personal virtues. And I wanted to just talk about that for a minute because we can say, well, let's focus on virtuous thoughts. Well, I don't think we really hear the word virtuous too much anymore, do we? And you know me, I like words. I like looking them up, looking at their origin, looking at what they mean, with all the different meanings. We can have some 2 or 3 letter words I've shared with you before that have 37 different meanings, like oh, what is it? Weight, for instance. I think that was one of them that had like 37 different meanings. But we look at virtuous, and we want to have virtuous thoughts, and we want to embody qualities such as kindness and harmlessness and integrity and courage. But the third definition of virtuous, of course, the definition is having or exhibiting virtue, morally excellent, righteous, a virtuous decision, chaste. But number three is potent, um, efficacious. We don't use that a lot, do we? Having the power to produce a desired effect. And that I go, that is perfect for this message. That's right from dictionary.com. Virtuous thoughts. Those would be thoughts that have the power to produce a desired effect. That's what we want. We even see this in scripture in Paul's letter to the Philippians, don't we? And I love looking at a bunch of different versions of that. I'm just going to share one from the New Revised Standard Version. Philippians, Paul's letter to the Philippians, chapter 4, verse 8, he says, "Finally, beloved, my instruction to you, I'm telling you, whatever is true, whatever is honorable, whatever is just, whatever is pure, whatever is pleasing, whatever is commendable, if there is any excellence, and if there is anything worthy of praise, think about these things." And that's what Paul's doing. He's redirecting the attention of those he's giving instruction to, in this case, the Philippians, and saying, take your attention off the outer world and what you're worried about, and your worries and your doubts and your fears, your lack and your limitation, and what you don't have, and start thinking about these things. Think about what is pleasing. Start building that and shaping that in your consciousness, while just having trains of thoughts that are focused on a series of thoughts surrounded by what you don't like, built on what you don't like, because you're thinking about those things day in and day out, and it becomes a habit of thought, then a habit of word, then a habit of action, and it's creating the circumstances, and it can even show up in your physical expression in your physical body. So it's so important to do this, and it's such a great time of year to do this as we enter into all the newness that spring represents, that Easter represents. We're in that garden. We're pulling the weeds right now, right? Letting go of every negative thoughts. This has to go. This has to go. This has to go. I've been thinking this thought for years now. That's got to go. That's got to go. I'm building this new vision of how I want to show up. We're building that character. That's the being part of be, do, and have. I am being this. I don't want to be this weed that's in there. That's got to go. That's got to go. I'm getting rid of this. I just want to have in this garden of thought, this garden of consciousness, what I want to show up as my experience. So, James Allen provides in the book, you'll see when you go through it, he provides various examples of individuals who transform their lives through the power of positive thinking. And you're looking at some of those people right here behind the curtain, so to speak, in our Zoom room. To a certain extent, we've all have followed this and transformed our lives to a certain extent, a variety of levels of degrees. We have transformed our lives. And this is not theory or airy fairy mumbo jumbo. This is law, cause and effect, going right to cause, going to thought, and in our context here, rooted and grounded in the goodness of God. So then there's a section of the book that talks about more about the thoughts and circumstances, examining the relationship between our thoughts and the circumstances we experience. Now, Alan asserts that We have the power, like I just went on and deeply into, we have the power to create our own environments through our thinking. And again, it's there's two sides to the coin. We're doing this anyway, right? We're doing it anyway. We can step back and say, what thoughts have I been thinking that externalized as the circumstance? Alan emphasizes that by changing our thoughts, we can indeed change our circumstances. So it is essential to cultivate in our thoughts, but also in our environment, the ideals that reflects our highest good. So we want to do this. We want to have this space that we create that's in alignment. So we're doing this work, yes, in consciousness, but all around us. We don't want to constantly bombard ourselves with the negativity. Maybe that's a weed that needs to be pulled and tossed out. Maybe it's time to shut off the news if you haven't already. Maybe it's just, you have to decide that for yourself. Cultivate that garden. Success and failure are often products of our thoughts. And I would venture to say more often than not, positive, powerful thinking, being vigilant of our thoughts can lead and open doors for us, can lead to new opportunities, while that negative thinking can indeed hinder our progress and keep us in a place that we really don't want to remain in. So, in this slide, we're going to look at exploring practical techniques to implement this positive state all through Lent and really all through the year and all through our lives. We want to sustain positive thought, positive thinking. We want to utilize our positive affirmations and use those repeatedly to help us shape a more fulfilling future, because that's what we want. That's what we're here for. To be what Jesus talked about in John 10:10. I am come so that you may have life and have it more abundantly, more of the good stuff, right? So having a clear vision and high ideals is crucial for personal growth. So have you thought about that? Did you take the time at the beginning of this year? Or you can do it right now, the beginning of Lent, the beginning of spring, to decide what does that clear vision look like, to have that crystallized vision. Yes, this is it. And remember, here on this positive path for spiritual living we call unity, we're talking about the intangible as well as the tangible aspects of our life, the intangible aspects of character. Those goals of, I want to show up more as love. I want love to be my character. Maybe that's it for you. I want to live more from the power of my imagination, always sustaining the ideal I envision in my life, because staying there shapes our outcomes, because it's shaping our actions, it's shaping the words that we speak. Having that clear vision and high ideals is absolutely crucial for personal growth. And it contributes to our commitment. We see that. We go, yeah, I can move into that physically. So it cements that commitment. Yeah, I remember why I'm doing this, right? A vision provides direction, provides purpose. James Allen highlights that a well defined vision drives motivation and fosters commitments to one's goals. So we build this, we see it, and it's like the guy in the path here. Do I want to go to the right and continue? Am I motivated to get? I know right to the right there is my pot of gold, however I have defined that, somewhere over the rainbow, or I can stay where I'm at, and maybe that path on the left there just leads to a circle. Experience the same thing over and over and over again that I don't want to experience. Cultivating high ideals helps elevate our thoughts, helps elevate our words, helps elevate our actions. Uh, James Allen encourages the readers in the book to aspire towards ideals that inspire personal greatness. And that's what I want to really inspire you to do. This is stuff we talk about all the time, but I'm just using these slides in this book as a little guide to maybe pick up in a very simple way and just letting it lead you with some other things we'll be doing throughout Lent to 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 move to that place, to move on high, so to speak, so that your circumstances reflect this consciousness that we're sustaining, this Christ consciousness. And in the book, yeah, Alan discusses the importance of taking steps too. And Tanae and I are always talking about that. We can come together on Sundays. You probably notice that more and more and more of these Sunday messages are becoming even more instructional because we talk about the application and the action that we are to take. We both talk about that all the time because we can come in here and talk every Sunday and we can feel good and we can shut it off and then we go about habitual thought, habitual word, habitual action during the week. And then we come back on Sunday to get filled up with more, to have that nourishment, which is all good. But there's an importance here. And James Allen talks about it, the importance of taking actionable steps to bring visions to fruition. And that committed mindset, say, yeah, I'm going to stay with this. I'm going to do this. That's why we're giving you these tools. And Danae's done the books, and we've mailed out some booklets from Unity, and we're encouraging you to go through this one. It's a committed mindset coupled with clear intentions and staying there, sustaining the thought that can manifest your dreams, bring them into your reality. Again, that's what we stress over and over uh, through new thought and unity. So then he wraps up with achieving this calmness of mind, this serenity and inner peace, and just noting that this is paramount for personal well-being, and I would say for professional well-being as well. So there's a whole section that highlights the role of thought and maintaining a peaceful state of mind. He emphasizes the importance of achieving that calm mind. I was just exercising this morning, this calm mind, no matter what's going on, right? This tranquility allows for clearer thinking. It moves us to this place of clarity. And when what happens? We make better decisions. Now, remember, we're making decisions, we're making choices in all those little nanoseconds, all those little gaps we talked about last week. We have a thought gap, thought gap, thought gap. And in those gaps, we're making a quick decision. Do I want to continue with this train of thought? Is it supportive? Is it foundational to what I want to experience, to the vision? Or is it not? Is it a weed that I'm just pulling? So when we practice moving into this place of calm and being calm and having calmness of character, it gives us that clarity of thinking. It enables us to make better decisions for major decisions, but also better decisions and choices in those nanosecond gaps because we're consciously aware. We're moving into conscious living rather than unconscious living. And thought is really important when it comes to maintaining this peace because we this is what we want to do. We want to maintain it. We want to sustain it throughout because life does happen, right? Stuff is coming at us all the time. All we need to do is tune on the news for a few minutes. There's something else that's going to trigger us, right? Our thoughts can either disrupt or maintain peace. Are we going to go with it? Are we going to go with that prompting, that trigger from the outside? Or are we going to make the choice to maintain peace? Alan advises on practices that promote a peaceful mindset amidst all these challenges of navigating life and living. Practical, excuse me, practical strategies for developing this serenity and sustaining it include mindfulness. We've talked about that in the past. Developing a mindful practice, and that's just being fully present in this moment without judgment, developing curiosity, and staying fully present in the here and now. That helps promote tranquility and it cultivates a peaceful inner life. Meditation, we talk about that. That's right in our fourth unity principle. Through prayer and meditation, we align our thoughts with the goodness of God. Prayer and meditation, denials, affirmations are tools that we use. Positive affirmations, it's just so important. That's why we do affirmations all the time. Constant spaced repetition of our affirmations drives the thought deep into our subconscious mind. You heard Danae says, hey, we're going to do this 3 times. We do that repetition over and over again. Develop your own affirmations and use them. Write them down and use them throughout their day. When you notice, hey, I keep going to this thought that I know doesn't serve me well. That is a weed that I want to extract. You got to go to the polar opposite, develop that affirmation and use it constantly. Because we can talk about this all day, but you have to take action. You have to do something that's pulling those weeds out, right? So positive affirmations are utilized every day in unity. So to wrap things up here, As a Man Thinketh by James Allen serves all of us as a positive, how serves as a positive, powerful reminder of the influence of thought on our lives. Again, it can be simple, but it's not always easy to change those darn thoughts that keep showing up day after day, right? But by transforming our thoughts, deliberately doing this, intentionally making a shift in our thoughts, just saying cancel, tossing that weed out, we can indeed transform our lives. We can make a profound transformation if that's what we want. We can make a radical transformation if that's what we want. Or maybe we're just working on one little area that I really want to work on this. I'm really focused, laser focused. My vision is by the end of the year, this is how I want to show up as. And you can do that, whatever it is. We can truly transform our lives, achieving our ideals while also achieving our inner peace. So that's what I got talking about As a Man Thinketh in the time allotted here. And even then I went over a little bit. We'll go into a brief little meditation here, aligning with our truth with some I am statements. So let me put you get comfortable where you are. And again, this is going out to a lot of people out there. So I encourage you, if you're operating heavy machinery like our friend Helen Ann is doing, or if you are watching small children or somebody that needs your care, or you're driving, um, you don't close your outer eyes. Try maintain some attention, or maybe step down from that heavy machinery and let's just take a deep breath right now and focus on the here and now. I'll put a little music in the background and help us settle in here. Hopefully we can hear that a little bit out there tonight. Give me a thumbs up if you can. Yeah, okay. So let's just allow these words to be the affirmations of our heart. And this is just for an increased realization of truth, what should be the foundation as we build that vision, build that ideal out. I am that spirit which is immortal. I am that spirit which is immortal. I am that peace which is freedom. I am that peace which is freedom. I am that health which is changeless. I am that health which is changeless. I am that wisdom which is perfect. I am that wisdom which is perfect. I am that nature which is harmony. I am that nature which is harmony. I am that life which is eternal. I am that life which is eternal. I am that law which is order. I am that law which is order. I am that activity which is equal to every demand. I am that activity which is equal to every demand. I am that success which is prosperity. I am that success which is prosperity. I am that supply which is abundance. I am that supply which is abundance. I am that love which is conscious unity. I am that love which is conscious unity. This is the truth of my divinity and the Christ of God I am. And so it is, and so we let it be. Amen. All right. Let's take another deep breath. Just bring yourself back to this time and place when you're comfortable doing so. No need to rush. As you're doing that, our friends here on Zoom, I invite you to stay with us here for a moment as I bid a fond farewell to those looking in on social media at other ministries, on YouTube, on Facebook, and everywhere out there. I want you to know that on behalf of myself, friends of Unity Prosperity, and Reverend Tanae, we love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the Christ in you. Thank you for joining in and being here with us today. We'll see you 7 days a week, morning inspiration, and next Sunday at 9 a.m. Central Time. Thank you for being here. God bless you.